A former deacon excommunicated after son's abuse by a priest. This is a hell of a story. Sad for sure. Put it up for a mass. Per the New York Times, Michael Goodry on the left, a Louisiana Catholic priest who sexually assaulted an altar boy, now sits in prison. And the Diocese of Lafayette has paid a settlement now to the victim's family. Now the diocese bishop has punished the victim's father. The victim's father. Former deacon Scott Payton on the right, with the church's highest censure, excommunication. This is the latest turn in a years-long battle pitting the former deacon and his family against the diocese. In 2019, the diocese said Father Goodry had been, quote, removed from ministry, but it was not clear whether he was defrauded, all right? In March 2021, the Paytons won their settlement for an undisclosed sum in a lawsuit against Father Goodry and the diocese. The Paytons and the diocese have found themselves on opposing sides of a state law that gave childhood sexual abuse victims more time to file lawsuits. There's more. During the criminal case against Father Goodry and the lawsuit, the Paytons became vocal supporters of the state law that allowed childhood sex abuse victims to pursue civil damages regardless of how long ago the offenses occurred. Scott's wife, Letitia Payton, even testified in favor of the law before state lawmakers. The law, which was passed in the state legislature in 2021, but struck down on Friday by the state's high court, did not apply exclusively to victims of clergy abuse. However, the law prompted new civil suits against Louisiana churches and clergy members who worked for them. In 2018, Payton's son, Oliver, accused the parish priest at St. Peter Catholic Church in Morrow of sexually assaulting him 3 years earlier when he was 16. Scott Payton served that same priest, Father Michael Goodry, as a deacon. While the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office investigated the matter, Father Goodry was suspended at that time from the church and from church duties and later confessed he did in fact do it. He did commit the assault. In a deposition, Father Goodry said the abuse occurred when Oliver came to the rectory for spiritual counseling. Quote, even though the priest confessed, we were shunned by members of our community, end quote, Mr. Payton said, adding that he and his family felt compelled to move to another church in the diocese. In April 2019, Father Goodry was sentenced to 7 years in prison for violating a juvenile and prohibited from having any contact with the Paytons or anyone under the age of 18. That's according to the court record. Payton, who was an ordained deacon in 2012, that's when he got ordained, resigned from the position on December 4th, 2023. Payton also informed the diocese bishop that his family was leaving the Catholic Church. So Bishop J. Douglas Deschotto responded a day later, wishing Payton well and saying that sacramentally, he would remain a deacon. But on March 13th, the bishop wrote Payton to say that he had been excommunicated. The bishop wrote, quote, I'm aware that your family has suffered a trauma, but the answer does not lie in leaving the most holy Eucharist. Keep his picture up. It's not a damn thing holy, sir, about you or the organization that you are a leader of. Holy represents holistic. It means being complete. You all are broken, corrupt. Mr. Payton said that he would not appeal the decree, which prohibits him from receiving Holy Communion and otherwise participating in the Catholic Church. Quote, we've endured enough, he said. What he did to my family with this excommunication proves the point of why I left, he added, referring to the bishop. Quote, it's an institution that wants to punish those that speak out against it. Many Catholics believe that those who are excommunicated die in a state of sin. He's basically condemned me to go to hell, said Mr. Payton, who with his family has joined an Anglican church about an hour from where they live. As for why they did not resign immediately after the sexual abuse allegations first surfaced, Mr. Payton said he saw that being a deacon as his vocation. The Paytons ultimately decided that to move on and heal, they needed to leave the Catholic Church for good. Put them up. The New York Times noted that in April 2019, the bishop published a list of dozens of clergy who had been employed in the diocese and who had also been credibly accused of sexual abuse of a minor or a vulnerable adult in the past century. One such clergy member was Gilbert Goff, a priest who pleaded guilty in the 1980s to sexual abuse of at least 37 children. The church defrocked him and paid more than $10 million to settle multiple victim claims. Payton told the New York Times that to the best of his knowledge, none of the clergy members in the Diocese of Lafayette who were accused of sexual assault have been excommunicated. Isn't that something? So the ones who have been accused of violating children, they don't get an excommunication letter from the bishop. They get put on a list, but according to the bishop, they still get to go to heaven. Okay. The victims, those that dare say something, those that dare challenge the authority of the church, well, they get excommunicated. They, according to the bishop, can't go to heaven. It's insane. Number one, I promise you it don't work like that. Whatever your faith may be. I'm glad that an old ass white man who covers up crimes against children will never make a judge for my eternity or yours. To the family, I'm sorry you went through this and you're still going through it to some degree. And I want to say this to all of the members of the Catholic Church and those who are executives. Please keep in mind, when you say that most Catholic priests are good, that these are rare exceptions, etc., please understand. When we talk about police here, okay, and police misconduct, that misconduct occurs because good police, at least they believe they're good, typically sit back and say nothing. You see, if you believe you're good, but you say nothing, you're not as good as you believe you are. And because of that silence, police in general, at times, they will be judged summarily. And if you are silent in the Catholic Church, your organization will be adversely judged as well because you sat back and said nothing. All right, share your thoughts here.
Once again, I agree wholeheartedly. I respect all faiths. This has nothing to do with faith. This has to do with men who are part of an institution which protects and even promotes, in some cases, filth and perversion. Until you show otherwise and protect children, that is exactly who you are. My faith tells me to speak directly to God, and I'm going to keep doing that.
That's right.
If yours has a different level in the hierarchy, no problem. But you might want to check people out loud, even though Mr. Payton had to face the consequences. He's not going to hell.
Right. It's maddening.